You're listening to Tavern Sports Radio Network.
Show me the money! Show me the money!
Show me the money. Welcome to the 52nd episode of Show Me the Money, brought to you by Tavern Sports. Welcome back, fellas. I know it's a little bit of a short group here today. Just Josh.
Empty barn, dude.
Yeah, Josh, myself, and Clarky. It's gonna be. I hope it's not necessarily a short episode, but the slate is a little bit rough this week. I don't know how you guys did last weekend, but did pretty well in college football myself, and then got absolutely hammered by the NFL slate, as I'm sure everybody else did.
Yeah, I think I went up like 5.5, 6.5 units in college and then lost a couple back to the NFL. I think I was up like 4.5 units total on the weekend, so not the worst. But I may be the worst NFL bettor of all time, so I'm probably not going to do that for a while.
I had live bet the Kansas City game. That was the only NFL bet I won last weekend. I went 1-11 total in NFL. So I'm having a much worse weekend last weekend, at least, than you guys.
Wow.
But
dogs barked
you know what?
Loud last weekend in the NFL.
They did.
Crazy loud.
It really hurts when you don't bet on any of the dogs. I mean, I'm one of those guys who really only bets the favorites. So,
well, like the Bears backdoor covering, the Falcons backdoor just outright winning over the Eagles.
Yeah, didn't make it
One
fun.
bet that got me pretty good was Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia against Kentucky was crazy. Georgia looked like.
Did anyone else bet on that
awful.
Georgia game?
I didn't touch it. No.
I live bet it -5.5 and still lost.
Yeah, I thought about live betting it, and that was my concern as well, Clark. I didn't want to. I had obviously a very good feeling Georgia would win, but at the end of the day, I was not confident in them covering. I'm glad I stayed away from that one.
Well, somebody put in the chat the live money line for Georgia. It wasn't awful, but it still wasn't to the point I would have taken it because of how it was still in Georgia's favor and they were down. I think the biggest surprise of last week, though, was Arizona and Kansas State going under the 60.5 and like by quite a bit. I don't think they crossed 40 in that game. I could be wrong. They definitely didn't cross 50, and I think Arizona put up 7. So pretty rough showing for the Wildcats last week, and that was kind of crazy. South Carolina keeping it close against LSU made that a really cool game. Made me wish I would have taken the other side like I wanted to in my heart. What else? Troy covering against Iowa. No one's really surprised, but Iowa did look decent and the game went over. Iowa's 3-0 to the totals to the over this year. So far, Arkansas looked like crap against UAB. That killed 2 different parlays for me.
Well, while we're talking about it, let's get into some college football. Clark, these Heisman hopefuls, are these from last week or are these current?
They're current.
They're current. Okay. Well, it's pretty similar, it looks like, to last week. The big name that stands out this week is Cam Ward at the top of this group of guys. So tell me a little bit about what he did last week that maybe puts him above Jalen Milroe, because Milroe looked damn good last week against Wisconsin.
Well, let's just say before we get into anything, Ward is at plus 450 now, and we called it 2 weeks ago that by now he would be at plus 400. So we were pretty dang close. And then you mentioned Jalen Milroe. I don't understand how he's keeping pace.
The odds wise, you don't understand, like you don't think he's been good enough. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and there's a good chance Quinn would probably be ahead of him if he didn't get hurt last week for Texas against whoever they were playing. So Quinn's out for at least this week. They've named Arch the starter for this week. I understand Milroe and Jackson Dart are both plus 600. I guess I don't know how. Maybe they do it alphabetically, and that's why Jackson was below Jalen. But I would definitely put Jackson over Jalen Milroe. I like Nico out of Tennessee more, and he's at plus 900. I don't think that's a great money bet. I think he's going to be the shoe-in next year. But I would be surprised if he does it this year, especially over Cam. Cam's having such a good season.
Yeah.
I will say I was very impressed by Milroe. I didn't think Wisconsin's defense would hold up, and I think that you were on top of that last week, Josh. We found that out pretty early, and I'm sure that the Wisconsin quarterback going down early didn't help the fact that they weren't going to be prepared for the rest of the game without a real starting quarterback. But you were right. The Wisconsin
Yeah.
defense did not look like the typical Big Ten defense that we are used to.
Yeah, no,
Did
Wisconsin's bad right now.
Yeah, it surely didn't look like it used to against Iowa. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how they come back the next couple of weeks. But at the same time, it did show that Alabama, at least the offense, is still going to roll through whoever they have to at the moment.
I'm gonna take a second and pat myself on the back because I called that if Pritchett was starting at right tackle for the Tide, that game was going over. And he started at right tackle, and Bama almost went over on their own. So I'm gonna take that feather. I'm gonna put it in my cap because I'm pretty
Fair
proud of
enough.
myself for that call. Did we skip right over the locks, or am I deaf?
We kind of did. We kind of did.
We better get back to them then, boys. We got a little bit of a log jam at the top. Cole, Clark, and John are all 2-2. Parker is 1-2. I am 1-3. Ethan, you're 1-1. Sorry, I missed you when I went through the 500 guys. And Tyler is 0-4. So if you're looking for someone to fade, that's probably your target.
Not surprised at all. Hopefully, he finds a way to figure it out at some point. Let's hope he doesn't take a stupid lock this week, though. Well, let's move on from the locks. Let's go into week number 4 of college football. We're going to start off with what I think is going to be a very good, tough matchup in Nebraska.
It's a Friday nighter.
This is going to be a good one. Illinois at Nebraska. Nebraska a 7.5-point favorite. I know that we're all favoring them quite heavily this year. They are obviously they're a good football team this year, which is a little bit scary to say as an Iowa fan.
Yeah, I think Nebraska's going to take our lunch money the day after Thanksgiving. They're going to take all the leftovers out of Grandma's fridge, to be completely honest with you. I mean, Nebraska looks like Nebraska from the 90s, a top defense and a really high-powered offense as well. Fucking Dylan Mahomes or whatever his name is super cringy, and that makes the games hard to watch. But
You can sling it though.
he can sling it. That's a fact.
So looking at it, this line was at -10 for Nebraska on September 17th. And what's it at now? -7.5.
If you were going to give me Illinois plus 10.5, I would take it. That's a crazy good line.
I agree. Just looking at this game like abroad, I just think Nebraska -7.5, but that half-point kicker just scares me to death. So I think I found the odds for it. Yeah, if you take them 6.5, it's still -148. Not
like
terrible.
that.
So if I was going to bet this game, that's what I'm taking.
Yeah, I mean, if we're not talking about like our locks, like you can take any odds. I mean, obviously that still works for our locks. I would take that all day. I would buy the point every day.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up there. It wouldn't surprise me if this went back up to like 9.5 though. I mean, there's going to be Saturday line movement, or sorry, this is a tomorrow game, so there should be movement on this line around noon tomorrow. About the time everyone's able to listen to this episode. So by the time everyone's done listening to the episode, I wouldn't be. This line will either end up at 6.5 or 9.5. I really do think that. I don't think it stays at the 7.5. Although I think the 7.5 is the right number.
So I gotta say, with the way that Nebraska has played recently, specifically against Colorado is the one that obviously I think we have to compare it to. I think that they are going to be. I think the 7.5 number is actually a little bit too small. I see this going up to 9.5 with Josh. Um, I think with the way obviously Colorado doesn't have a defense to defend against Nebraska. However, I don't know if I would say Illinois' defense stands out to me either. I
Illinois'
understand
defense stands on business.
you can say that as you'd
Yeah,
like.
they're holding opponents to they're holding teams to 8.7 points per game right now. So I mean, they're looking pretty good.
We'll
And
see.
I think this is 2 top 25 teams, isn't it?
Ooh, is
It,
Illinois
it
ranked?
is.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
Nebraska's 22, Illinois is 23.
Yeah.
So I understand it's a ranked matchup. It's in Nebraska. I'm gonna go with those boys and give me the Patty Mahomes lookalike. I'm gonna take Nebraska in this one.
Yeah, I like Nebraska.
I
I'm
like
gonna
it.
buy the point to 6.5. I also love the under. Two top 50 defenses going at it. It's gonna be electric.
Yep. I love that.
Realistically,
I'm
the
a
winner of this game probably represents half of the Big Ten in the Big Ten championship game. Honestly, I mean, because Oregon's not going to put up a fight this year. I don't think they don't seem great.
at this point, yeah.
USC, I think it's probably like currently it's probably a 4-horse race. Ohio State's your cream of the crop ahead above everybody else. Then probably I think probably this Nebraska squad's number 2. Then USC, then Illinois is my
Great.
top 4 right now in the Big Ten personally.
Let's move on to our next game, though. We got Kansas. We got the Jayhawks going into West Virginia. 2.5 point favorite at home for West Virginia. Neither one of these teams have really impressed me all that much this far.
Yeah, I mean West Virginia losing last week in the backyard brawl. I don't
I
think a
agree.
lot of people saw that coming. I know the line was right at a pick 'em of 1.5 when we talked the game. I think it moved to maybe 2 or 3.5 by the time kickoff came around. The game I do believe went over, and we were all on the under on that yesterday or last week. So that's kind of interesting that we were all very wrong on that. But it just shows how much we pay attention to kind of that East Coast football, which we really don't. It's more Southeastern and Midwest, but you'll have
Yeah.
that.
Which normally this West Virginia team, like I want to say they have a good defense, but they normally they're giving up 28.7 points per game this year, which is a lot. Like, what did they give up last game to Pitt?
A
It was
lot.
38? Yeah,
38
30.
does sound. Was it like 38
Yeah,
to 34?
38
I think
points.
was the final.
Yep, 38 to 34, which is crazy to me because when I think West Virginia, I think pretty good offense, and the defense is just a little bit behind on, a little bit behind. But I just did not expect that
Maybe
Pitt
that
game.
maybe that's one of the benefits of looking at a team like Kansas for a game like this is, West Virginia coming off of just a terrible week. Kansas kind of the same way.
Kansas
However,
got smacked in the mouth by Illinois 2 weeks ago.
they did. So Kansas already has what, 2 losses on the seasons?
Yeah,
Do they really? Who's
yeah,
their other loss?
they lost to UNLV, dude.
Yeah.
Did they? Wow.
UNLV
So I think with Kansas losing
by 3 last week.
I think with Kansas losing that game last week, I think number one, they're looking to come out a little bit hot. Number two, Kansas is going to be a better road team this year than most other teams, I think, on the road, just because they don't have a home this year. They're constantly traveling. So
They're
at this
Arrowhead.
point, they've got to be somewhat used to it. I find it hard to believe that they are going to be unprepared traveling at this point. I don't think that's going to be a disadvantage for them. I think they're going to be able to find a way to use that advantage. And so I do feel confident in definitely using Kansas as a underdog this week.
I'm kind of in the same boat as you here. I just like it's so scary. Like this game right now is you might as well pick money line for whatever team you like. And I just genuinely don't like either team right now. Like if I was gun to my head, had to pick a team, I'm picking Kansas because I think they have a better defense, and that's the only reason I can give you.
See, I'm against both of you guys here. I like West Virginia at home minus the 2.5. If it was 3.5, I'd probably do like an official stay away. But I think West Virginia can get it by 2 at home in the mountains. Uh, with that Mountaineers crowd behind them.
They get rowdy. So it sounds like two of us are on Kansas and Josh is on West
Yeah, and I
Virginia.
don't have a lean on the total in this one.
I don't like it at all
I would,
because
well, hang on.
I know West Virginia went over with Pitt. Actually, let's see here. It seems like a
These
lot of people are
numbers
on West
can't
Virginia
be.
here. It looks like 60% of the money.
Yeah, I don't know if there's either way. I feel strong about it. About an over under. Then again, I'm not a huge total guy like you
No,
guys are. I know you guys definitely like to bet those. It's
I,
pretty rare that
I
I
like
bet
those.
those.
Yeah, like just on paper, like like Kansas's offense is better for sure. Defensively, just
I'm gonna go under. These teams combine for through the first 3 weeks of the season, they're combining for 41.5 points per game, and the total's 57.5. I mean, and they haven't played the best defense. I mean, Kansas played Illinois, which is a good defense. And
yeah.
West Virginia played Penn State. I don't know.
I just we thought the same thing last week with West Virginia and Pitt,
I
and
think
we
it's
saw
just they
how that
both.
went.
I think they both just maybe a lack of defense here is
I just
maybe.
see. I don't hate
I lean
Kansas's
under.
defense
I'm not
though.
gonna give the official under, but I lean under.
Okay, I'm gonna say stay away from the under or the over for me. So move on to the next game here. We've got Florida at Mississippi State. Mississippi State being plus 6.5, and the over under at 58.5.
Yeah, and
Thoughts?
Tyler will be at this game.
Jealous.
Dude,
Really?
I'm not. Two bottom feeding SEC teams.
Eh,
Watch.
it's still gonna be I mean, it's gonna be a good game. I understand that neither one of these teams are super exciting to watch, but Mississippi State knows how to get up for football games. I don't think that's a
It's
secret.
gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm sure that regardless of the game itself, the environment is going to be fun. Plus,
Well, yeah,
if you place a bet or two on the over in that game, I think that's a good bet. I personally that's one of the ones that does stand out to me total wise. Just because I don't think that SEC defenses are obviously super interesting, specifically for these two teams.
Yeah, they combined for 72.5 points per game allowed.
Yikes.
So, I mean, their offenses are awful. They combined for 38.5 points on offense. So,
Jeez.
So it's a shithole in the offensive side of things. It's whose
yeah,
offense is worse.
do you want to
Both
watch a horrible
sides.
offense, or do you think the horrible offenses can outdo the horrible defenses?
It's
Or is it going to be a lot of like sloppy play on both sides? You'll get maybe a touch, maybe 10 points per quarter, and everyone will look awful. I'm really curious about Florida's quarterback situation. Is Mertz going to be out there? Or are they going to go to the freshman who is 100% leaving in the transfer portal? He'll probably set an NIL record after this year because he will not be in Florida. He'll be at Bama after this year, more than likely. Or Ole Miss, if Ole Miss thinks they can still compete after Dart leaves.
yeah, I would say myself at least I'm looking forward to seeing this team at least just what it potentially could be if they start that quarterback, that young guy for Florida. Um, I
Yeah.
I still find it hard to believe that Mississippi State, even if somehow they have an offense, is able to cover. I personally I'm leaning toward Florida -6.5.
If you can hear me, I think I'm gonna go opposite of E of E, and I think I like Mississippi State +6.5. If I knew what +7 was, just in case I could get the push, I would possibly do that even.
I would assume you
But
can. I'm not
I
looking right
circled
now.
Mississippi State plus. Yeah,
Yeah. So
but
if you
no,
guys didn't
I like
catch that
Mississippi
because
State
Clark's
here.
cutting in and
Both
out.
teams are bad.
Yeah. I like Mississippi State too, just because I don't buy the point to 7.5 for sure, and don't put the game on. Like, legitimately, don't turn the fucking. It's so bad. This game is going
Yeah,
to be awful. If DJ Lagway, I believe is the kid's name, if he's in, Florida will cook. But I don't know if they're ready to light the season on fire yet. And I think they gave Graham like $3 million. Do you really want to sit $3 million? I think that'll probably piss off some of the boosters and the donors and whatnot. But dude, I don't know. Mississippi State +7.5. I don't like it. Let's get to probably one of the better games of the week.
yeah.
USC going into the Big House for I believe it's their first Big Ten test. USC laying 5.5 on the road against Michigan. The total's 44.5. Ethan, what do you think about this one?
USC obviously had Caleb Williams last year. They don't have Caleb Williams this year. I haven't watched them actually play this year. It's hard for me to gauge how they are going to do against the Big Ten team. However, we have seen Michigan play this year, and Jesus Christ, have they not been good. They played, who did they play last week?
Last week they
Arkansas
played
State.
Arkansas State and did not cover. They were covering until the fourth, and then they gave up 2 late touchdowns. And I won money off that. So
Yeah,
Love
that's
that for
pretty
you.
cool for me.
I think my red flag about Michigan is the same thing about some of the other Big Ten teams, is just their defense doesn't look like it used to for a Big Ten team. I really
Well,
feel like that was a major
Their
part of
defense is
who they
good.
were.
their
Their
defense is
defense
still
is good.
good. My thing is I think I saw something about a quarterback change.
No.
No, no
They're
quarterback change.
still they're still going with fucking what's his fuck and Orgy's gonna
Orgy.
have packages. No, Orgy's the backup.
Oh, okay.
They're still going with Warren and then Orgy's their backup change of pace. If he's in the game, they're probably doing a QB draw kind of play.
Okay.
I think it's about time for more to just say if they lose this week and go to X-2, I mean, their 2 losses are going to be really good losses. They're going to be USC and Texas. But you look awful in non-conference play. Like you only beat Fresno by 20 and you beat Arkansas State by 10. Your offense can't move the fucking ball. If you
Yeah.
lose this game, you need to hand it over to Orgy and see what happens, really, because Warren's not getting the job done.
Yeah. The one thing I do have circles for this game is I like the under.
44.5, that is a low number.
It is a low number. I think I don't know. I just really like this Michigan defense. And I
USC's
don't
got a
think
good defense.
and I don't think Michigan's going to score very many points. Is kind of my view there.
They
It's
don't. They
it's
never do.
they never do, and I think they can hold USC to at least less than 2 touchdowns, hopefully.
The most they've scored this season is 30.
For USC.
No, for Michigan.
Okay. Yeah. And I don't think they scored that on USC for sure.
No, I think you're going to be a lot closer to the 12 that they scored against Texas. It'll probably be like,
Yeah.
I bet you 17. If I could pick an exact number, I'd go with 17, 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
Mhm.
Maybe the defense gets one and gets them to 24.
Yeah.
But
So
I
looking
don't
at,
think Miller Moss is a good quarterback. I don't think he's going to make the mistake.
I don't think he's a slouch. No, I like looking at the line 5.5. Like I want to take USC. I think 2 field goals could win this game. That It's just
What's the number? 5.5. Dude, I'm on USC at 5.5 all day.
That's what I'm
That's not even
thinking the same
close.
thing.
Michigan's so bad at football this year. Like, we've always said on this show, show me that you can do it. Like, prove it to me.
Yep.
Michigan hasn't, and I don't think they can. Like, they might look good next week against Minnesota, but that's going to be Minnesota's third like hard game, so they're going to be tested already. I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota, they won't win, but I wouldn't be surprised if they keep it close next week.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Minus 5.5, and I kind of like the under, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'll be excited to watch the game. I like I said, I haven't had the opportunity to watch really either one of these teams. So I watched Michigan a little bit last week, but they didn't really impress me. I thought they played really boring football. Um, Ironic to say as an Iowa football fan, but it was just, I don't know, it didn't impress me. So I'll watch this week. I'll see how it goes, but my heart is leaning toward what you guys are saying as well as USC minus 5.5.
Is this our first look at the Pac-12 teams playing a Big Ten team in conference play this year?
One other team did. I don't remember who.
I can't remember.
I
don't know.
I have no clue. I don't think UCLA has yet. Or no, UCLA played Indiana, right?
That's what I thought. I thought UCLA played somebody.
Yeah. UCLA played Indiana, I'm pretty sure.
Two bad teams. I don't care about that. This game's a little more exciting.
Let's move into game number 5 of our rundown. We got Arkansas heading into Auburn. Auburn, the 2.5-point favorite at home. Over under of 56.5. How are we feeling about this game, boys?
Who's Arkansas? What are they doing right now? I don't know.
They are a fun team to watch.
I agree.
They fucked me last week against UAB. Their defense did not look good, but
did you take their
they put up a lot of points. They put up a lot.
That's the one thing I do know.
And dude, they're a balanced offensive team. Like average 250 yards of rushing offense and 289 yards through the air. Like they're very, very balanced team. Their defense just kind of lets them down. Well, I say that they're fucking starch against the run, allowing 89 yards a game right now.
God. I don't know. Part of me just wants to just be like, take Arkansas plus 2.5, just for the fact that they can put points up.
Well, Auburn looked like Auburn lost outright to Cal, and I think Auburn looked bad again last week.
Yeah, well, no, they beat New Mexico 45-19.
Okay, that's not bad.
And covered the spread.
But New Mexico's pretty bad, and then I mean they smacked the fuck out of Alabama A&M week 1, which isn't surprising. Alabama A&M's HBCU, so what? That's basically NAIA, I think.
Basically.
I don't know what division they play in. It could be Division 3. I'm not really sure. But
I don't know.
They got a nice campus. They're in Huntsville. They got a really nice campus, really nice football field.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see how Auburn can hold up against Arkansas. Can they stop the offense that Arkansas brings? Can they produce their own offense? Do you guys know who the Auburn quarterback is?
It's a transfer. I know that.
Okay, so it doesn't sound like it's not a guy who has been in the system for years and years.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
No.
So I would be a little bit concerned that he might look slightly lost against such a strong Arkansas team. I think I would lean toward similar to you guys. I think Arkansas plus 2.5 is intriguing to me, especially because they could outright win that game.
Yeah, I kind of like Arkansas money line, honestly. I'll take the 2.5 if you're gonna give it to me, but I like the money line.
So Auburn's quarterback is a redshirt freshman, apparently, is what I'm seeing here. It was his first start last week.
So I think the guy that's been starting then is a transfer.
That's what it seems like. But yeah, give me Arkansas minus 2.5. I like that. Or plus 2.5.
Utah then?
Yeah, let's talk
Yeah.
it.
All right. Utah at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State getting 2.5 at home. Is that right? Do I have that down
Yeah,
right?
they are 2.5 point favorites.
And Utah is?
No,
No,
Oklahoma State
Oklahoma
is
State.
favorites.
Oh, Utah's on the road. That's my bad. Um, and then total of 52.5. I think Cam Rising's supposed to be going.
Let's list
Here's my thing. If you're
injuries.
putting your money with Utah, you're betting Cam Rising is playing a full game. And I don't think he's played a full game in 3 years.
So, according to this website, it says Cam Rising is out as of September 14th.
No, it was announced yesterday
Nope,
he's playing.
nope. Never mind then.
Covers is the best injury site.
That's fair.
So I am leaning very strong with you, Josh. We haven't seen him play a full football game in, you said, 3 years?
Something close to because he was out all year last year, or most of the
Mhm.
year. He's been out most of the year this year. He hasn't played a full game yet this year.
So let's estimate and say, let's say he somehow is playing this game.
He
I know it's a
is.
long
It's
shot.
it's been announced he is playing this game.
Okay, so he's playing a game that he hasn't played in a full year, and you expect him to go out and win against a very good Oklahoma State team this year. Like,
Mhm.
Oklahoma State is not a throwaway football team. They look pretty good this year. I think I'm excited. I'm excited for this game because I really think, especially at home, Oklahoma State has a very good chance of taking this one.
I'll tell you what I
I
love. I love the under 52 and a
yeah,
half with two like elite defenses, like
yeah, you got
elite defenses.
what are they both? I think
In total defense,
yards
Utah's
wise.
36th. And okay, I guess Oklahoma State's 119th. So maybe not elite. They're allowing like 500 yards a game.
My thing is like uh God, what's his name? Ollie Gordon. He hasn't been going at all this year. I think he's averaging like 3.3 yards per carry and only has 215 yards in what, 3 games?
Utah has the 50th rush defense in the nation, too, allowing 124 yards a game.
Yeah, I remember you talking about not Josh, specifically you not liking Oklahoma State's defense. Um, I do remember that being a concern. Um, I'm I would be more concerned on Utah's offense without Cam Rising, or I should say with Cam Rising. I don't know
No, if
how
Cam's in this game, they win.
I
If Cam plays this full game, they win strictly because Oklahoma State's allowing over 300 yards of passing of offense through the air right now, and Cam Rising
Mhm.
has a fucking cannon on his shoulder. Like he's just got to be healthy.
we'll see how it goes then because I don't know if I feel the same way about that. Like well, I'm trying to think like in baseball terms when you are playing a game as a starting pitcher and you go out after not throwing a baseball in 3 years, it doesn't look the same. It doesn't feel the same.
Mhm.
Well, he's been playing like he played intermittently last year. He started 2 games this year. He just hasn't finished them.
So he hasn't been hit, is what you're saying.
No, he's been hit. He just can't stay healthy. Like he's getting hit and getting injured in the
Hmm.
games.
Gotcha. We'll see
And
what
their
happens then.
backup is so bad. Like Utah is converting 26% of their third downs right now. You can't complete 36%. You can't convert 26% of your third downs and win a football game. And their
Mhm.
defense, their defense is elite. They're only allowing 22% conversion rates on third down. That's really good. Whereas like this Oregon State or this Oklahoma State defense is allowing almost 46% conversion rate on third down, but they're converting on third down 43% of the time. So they're converting their third downs at a much higher clip. I think Utah's going to be able to take that away from them. I think the total on this game's 52 and a half. I'd be shocked if this went over 37.
I kind of agree with you.
Like
thing that
I might buy this to 40. I might buy this under to 40.
do it. Just get that ticket. I want to see it hit.
I bet you it'd be crazy.
But like you were saying, like just everything, like all the stats are just telling me Utah is going to win this game. But there's just that little inkling where it's like, but Oklahoma State, like they got Ollie Gordon, he's so
Ollie's
good.
got to get going, and this is a game where like him getting going
Could
would
happen.
be a good storyline.
Yeah, because that changes everything. I think I'm gonna tail you, Josh, and take Utah. What is it, plus 2.5? We said.
Yeah.
And then
I think I
Under,
like that.
you can get under 40.5 at plus 320, by the way.
Keep that in mind because I like that.
That could be a nice little. I would never put that in a parlay, but it would be a
No,
fun parlay
but
piece.
it's Big 12 football. Like that's such a low number, and I know this game could go way over. It's just like I don't know.
Nah, I don't know. I don't know with Utah. I mean, Utah doesn't do that. Maybe with Cam
Yeah.
Rising. I mean, the numbers, the total number says Cam Rising plays the full football game
Yeah,
because the only way this goes over is if Utah puts up 30. It's the
Yeah.
only way this game, and even
they're
then, that's
putting up-
still probably not enough.
and they're putting up? They're putting up 36.7 points per game right now.
Against bums.
Bombs.
Utah's putting up 30.5. That's what I
I'm
have.
Yeah, I'm not.
I think the site I use doesn't look at the FCS games though.
Oh, okay.
So it
Yeah,
doesn't look at the massive blowouts, I don't think.
I'm not touching the over under in this game, but I
No.
do like Utah plus 2.5. Utah plus points any game I like, honestly.
Yeah. And if you're in a place where you can live bet and Cam Rising goes down on the first couple drives, hop on Oklahoma State. At whatever number's sitting there, just get it.
Just get it.
Because they'll win and probably cover because Utah's backup quarterback is so bad.
All right.
You want to talk about bad quarterbacks? Let's look at that Iowa game, man. That's up next. You got
Dude. Oh my
Iowa
God.
heading into Minnesota 2 weeks after we lose the Cyhawk game. It still is just grinding my gears, man. It just pisses me off that we lose in Kinnick, but Iowa at Minnesota 2.5 point underdogs, over under of just 36.5.
Iowa's gone over in every game this year.
Yeah, I was about to say the way that Iowa has looked this year, this is actually the first time I actually like an Iowa over. And it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with Iowa's offense, just has to do with Minnesota's offense, I think. I think that they're going to end up giving some points to Iowa defensively or on special teams. Hashtag it wasn't a fair catch.
It wasn't. It was not.
Always remember that from last year. Shout out Cooper DeJean.
Hashtag never forget.
Guy's a dog. But it's just, this is one of those games that you absolutely cannot lose after losing the Cyhawk game, because now you're going to take away the Cyhawk trophy and Floyd from Iowa City. You can't do both. I don't know the last time that both were outside of the city.
That could get Kirk fired.
This year, baby.
That could literally get Kirk fired.
Dude, seeing an empty trophy case in Iowa City would be hilarious.
We got Orange Bowl trophy in there. It'd be all right.
So,
that's fine.
Josh, the question that I raised, the question that I raised last week, I should say, was Iowa, if they scored 40 points, would you be more confident in their offense? And they got close. They got 38 last week. But the offense
7 came
only
from
scored,
the defense, right?
Exactly. The offense only actually scored 31 of those points. So
towards the end of the game, the offense started to look decent. I mean,
yeah. Do you feel more confident in this team's offense, or what do you need to see from Iowa in this week's offense to?
Well, here's what shitter team did we play last week? We played some shitter Troy. We played Troy, and it's a bad Troy team, dude. Troy is so bad. This is not the 3-time reigning fucking Sun Belt champion Troy, dude. Troy lost their coaching staff. They lost everyone on their team to the transfer portal or aging out. Like, Troy's bad. And we didn't cover And I mean, the game went over because we didn't cover because we let Troy hang around. Like, you can't let Troy hang around in a game, dude. That's fucking crazy. I'm out on the offense. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. I'm out. They didn't include Vanderzee enough. They didn't include fucking Moulton or Johnson
Lacey.
enough. Like, people are saying Johnson could be an outside Heisman Trophy winner. Like, they have him as the number 2 running back to Ashanti.
I think he's the leading rusher in college
He
football
is.
right now, if I'm
Is
not
he?
wrong.
He's a
That is
fucking
accurate.
dog, dude.
He
He's a
has
dog.
475 yards. He is,
Yeah,
I think, 20 yards above the next closest person.
Yeah,
But
he's a dog. Unfortunately, Minnesota has the 28th ranked rushing defense in the country. They're allowing
under
just
100 yards a
over.
minute.
I have just over 100.
Oh, just over 100? Okay, that's
Yeah.
different for me, but
And I mean, their pass defense is allowing 110 yards through the air. Minnesota has an elite defensive unit.
yeah.
Elite.
Yeah, Minnesota's
And
defense looked very good against UNC when I watched that game. I would
Yeah.
expect that to very much continue
And-
against Iowa.
And UNC has one of the top running backs in the country this year. And they
Mhm.
destroyed that young man. Fucking destroyed him. I mean, this is gonna be a good on good. This is gonna be Iowa's 7th ranked rush defense against Minnesota's rush attack, which is the numbers don't show it, but they have an amazing rushing attack. They're ranked 74th in the nation when it comes to running the ball at 136 yards a game. Whereas Iowa has the 11th ranked rushing offense at 244 yards a game. And when's the last time you ever heard that out of an Iowa squad? 11th in something that isn't a defensive stat? Crazy. But we have
They
the
wouldn't be
7th,
that bad.
right? We have the 7th best rush defense at and allowing only 56.5 points per game. And the numbers tell you Iowa wins. The books tell you they like Iowa on the road. I mean, Iowa's getting points on the road in, I believe, in Gopher Stadium. I don't know what the fuck the stadium's called, but that's what we're gonna call it. And that's not an easy place to go and play a game. Like, that's a tough environment, especially when Iowa's in town and Floyd's on the line.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
it's
I think Floyd stays in Minnesota.
Well, it should be in Iowa right now.
this is
Should.
gonna be
It wasn't a fair catch.
this is gonna be a tough
I'm
one.
not
I really, really want this trophy back in Iowa City, just because, like you said, it means more to, or it means more to Iowa fans than it should. Only I think because of that Cyhawk loss. Generally, I don't give a shit about this trophy.
Well,
But-
usually it's a fucking bye week.
Yeah,
Minnesota's usually so fucking bad, dude. Like,
yeah. But this offense has gotten to the point where it's unbearable to watch, and now Minnesota's defense is similar to Iowa's, where that could win them the game, and it did last year, and it's gonna bite us in the ass this year.
the
Mark
winner
those
of this
words.
game is whichever team has the pick six. There will be a pick six in this
And-
game,
Yeah,
and it's whichever team gets the pick six wins the game.
I'm pretty sure Minnesota's already done that. Where did I see that? Defense.
Iowa's had pick sixes. I mean,
Okay, that's fair.
I will say this Iowa team doesn't force as many turnovers as it usually does.
That's fair.
Ethan, I'd love to know where you are on this game.
2.5 is too big of a number for me. It's really hard because at this point I think I'm gonna stop betting on my college team. Like I can't continue to do it.
I learned that years ago.
Well, in
Well, as
the
a
past,
state fan, that's an easy lesson to learn.
yeah, in the past, like Iowa wins. Like
It's never pretty.
it's never pretty. They don't need it doesn't need to be pretty, but like an easy money line bet, like even against Iowa State, the money line was 140 minus 140 for Iowa. And
Mhm.
I thought that was a lock. That was my lock of the week. And for them to put up a show like they did that week and just like below the game at the end was just absolutely miserable. And so it's hard for me to want to continue to bet on that team when it is that way, but historically it has worked out well.
Here's what I think. I think this game has a bet on it that's just one of those I just need to see it go through the hoop kind of bets. And it's always the Iowa under. I think you got
You
even though
say
it
that
hasn't
they're an over team.
they are this year, but that doesn't make any sense to me. It shouldn't be happening. I'm gonna go back to the old bread and butter, and I am gonna bet the under.
I think I'm with Clark on the total for that one. I understand Iowa's an over team, and I understand the defense or sorry, not the defense, the offense, as bad as it is. I think this is going to be a whose punter is better. Unfortunately, we don't have Tory Taylor this year. I'm staying away from Iowa.
We have Tory Taylor Jr., bro. Our punter's still god tier. We're fine
Uh,
at punter. We're
I
fine
need
at punter.
I need to see a little more from him still. He's not Tory Taylor. I'm not saying he can't get there, but I need to see more from him.
That's fair. And I I'm gonna take Minnesota plus 2.5. I don't love it, but that's what I'm gonna pick.
I don't want to bet against the Hawkeyes, but I am right there with you, I think, unfortunately, Clark.
I'll be a true fan. I'll take my Hawkeyes and lose my money with them.
We'll just bet the under and you're good.
No, I'm not. I would take the over. No, I would
God,
actually.
I hate
I
that.
actually
Why
do
did you
kind of
say
like the under in this game. It's two really good defenses. I'm not gonna bet the under till they show me that they can do an under. Mainly because I think the offense can drag us across the over, which is crazy to say, but
Yeah, it's just the line is always so small. The total is always so small now, and it's just
I will ultimately bet on Iowa for this game. It's not going to be a smart bet. I'm doing that because I'm an Iowa fan. If you're a smart bettor, do not bet on Iowa. I'd probably go with Minnesota.
does that move us to our next matchup?
That moves us to we got two more college matchups left listed on here. We got Tennessee heading into Oklahoma. Oklahoma 7.5 point underdogs. Out there are they in Tulsa? Is that right?
nope. That's
No.
where
Norman.
Tulsa's located.
Norman.
See, I didn't grow up watching college football, so we're just gonna call it Oklahoma. Make life easy for myself. The
No,
Sooners. I really do fear that the Sooners are gonna get their ass kicked in this one. Give me Tennessee minus 7.5. Not even a worry about the hook.
Yeah, this Tennessee team's fucking different, dude. I mean, 61 points per game, 600 yards per game. I get it. They're not playing anybody. They haven't played
Yeah.
a single soul.
NC State, but like they blew them out of the water.
Yeah. 55% third down conversion rate is fucking crazy. And here's something people aren't saying. They have a defense. Tennessee never has a defense. And they have a defense. Like, again, they've played nobody. They've played nobody, but they have the number one defense as far as yards per game is allowed or is concerned this season. Number 3 in points. They're allowing a 21% third down conversion rate on their defense. Like they're crazy.
And Oklahoma's offense isn't that good.
It's mid. It's fine. It's
fine, but it's not like
I would take it
great.
in Iowa.
That's not saying much.
But their defense is really good. But I don't know how much that's really gonna stop
well,
what's his name? Nico.
Yeah, Tennessee is just like the complete package right now. I think Oklahoma moving to the SEC.
They're gonna learn
struggle.
what it means when people in
Yeah.
the SEC say it just means more.
They're
They're
should
gonna
have stayed in
learn
the Big
this
12.
week.
They owned the Big 12. Like I will admit that.
Well, and they struggled against Houston 2 weeks ago. They didn't look great against Tulane last week.
Is this Oklahoma's first SEC matchup?
It is. Yep. SEC league play starts this week.
And they got a horrible first game for themselves.
They get Texas in 2 weeks.
I mean, that's so okay. I think that's a little different though, considering it's a rivalry game. I think it will be a little bit more close. But
I don't think so. I no.
Like I'm not saying the game's gonna be close, but I think it's gonna be different than the game against Tennessee.
I think I'm gonna stick with my Tennessee Volunteers over there. I do enjoy the burnt orange. I think is gonna show up in Oklahoma, and I do think that Oklahoma's gonna get their shit rocked in their first SEC game.
100%. I
Yeah,
love Tennessee -7 here. Sounds like a team ride to me.
yeah, it is.
All right.
Last matchup here we got for college football. We got Michigan
Yep.
State heading into the Boston College. Am I reading this right? Is Boston College really a 6.5 point favorite against a Big Ten team?
Yeah, Michigan State's dog shit and Boston College is the truth. Plus, they're at home and it's the red bandana game, so it just means more for Boston College this week.
Yes.
And Boston College is a good team, coached by a good coach.
And
Like,
MSU
their entire
sucks.
coaching staff are former NFL coaches. They have the experience they need, and Cassianos is a fucking dog under center. I love BC this year.
All you needed to say. That's all we need to know.
I think
The
you got
fact-
me on them. Give me Boston College -6.5.
Yeah, I think we were all there.
Yeah, not much more to say.
No.
I like the over. I think Boston College might be able to get this over on their own.
What is the number at? 45 and a half.
45 and a half. I might be talking my out. Hang on. Michigan State
Yeah,
actually has
40.
good stats. Why does Michigan State have good stats?
Because they played bums. They played Maryland, but do you consider Maryland a good program?
No.
Probably not.
The answer to that question is no.
Yeah. They
Wow.
played nobody.
They only scored 16 against FAU. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I get-
40 against Prairie View.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I see why their
Boston College.
defensive numbers are good.
Yeah. That's fair. But no, I think we all said our piece with this game. Boston College.
Yeah, that was a pretty quick team ride. Do we want to get
Yeah.
into the new
Yeah.
coolest segment, sweeping the nation? Fucking
Hidden
hidden
gems.
gems. Yeah,
I
fucking
love
it.
hidden gems. I love hidden gems.
Again, I mean, we kind of shrunk down our rundown this week because there's not a lot of good games. So most of the good games are in there. So not a lot of hidden gems. I found 4. Clark, I think you said you only managed to find 1.
I only found one.
Yeah, I don't blame you, dude. It's not a great week. I'll give one of mine. Miami, I don't know who they're playing. I should have wrote that down. Let me find it. Hang on.
Clark, you go ahead and say yours while Josh finds his.
Miami's playing USF. Found it. USF pushed Alabama a couple weeks ago. I think that's just something USF always does. Every time USF plays Alabama, they push them. It doesn't mean USF's a good team. They're just a thorn in Alabama's side. Cam Ward is your Heisman for the year. If you should have gone at -900, you should still get him at -450 or +450. Miami -16.5 all day.
Alrighty. I'll give you my one hidden gem of the week. I'm not going to say I'm completely confident in this bet, but I'm going to take, where did I write it down? I'm going to take Cal +115 against FSU. FSU needs to show me that they're a decent football team at least. Like, I just think this FSU's offense looks terrible. Cal has a somewhat decent defense. I don't know. Just I'm fading FSU at all costs this year, and this is a game that I think Cal can win money line with good odds.
I did not have Cal. I like it though. I do like it. And I like Cal at the +2.5 too. But
Yeah.
I'll take them money line at 2.5, dude. I'll ride with you. I like that.
Yeah.
Another one, I gave you guys Bowling Green 2 weeks ago against Penn State, and they led at halftime in that game.
Yeah.
I'm all over Bowling Green this year. They're against Texas A&M this week, +22.5. And I think they can get it. Ethan,
I like that.
Ethan, you said you got one, man. Go ahead and give it to us.
I do. I think one of the teams that you kind of mentioned earlier, NC State, well, I think they're going to get the shit kicked out of them again against Clemson. That's 19-point spread. I know that's quite a few points. However, what was the game of that Tennessee game? Oh, it was like 51-11. It ended up being like a 40-point game. I expect NC State to go and fall flat again in Clemson. With that being a home game for Clemson, NC State just doesn't look like a good team. Clemson, we were kind of all over right at the end of last season. We expected them to mature a little bit. I think they have. I think 19 points is a solid spread for those guys.
Well, and I think Clemson's 2-1. Of course, their losses to Georgia. It's a very good loss.
Correct.
They're 1-1 right now.
Oh, they're 1-1. They had a bye week. Okay,
yeah, they had a bye.
No, my third hidden gem is Ole Miss minus 36.5 against Georgia Southern.
I did see that.
It's a really big number. It's kind of scary, but Jackson Dart, if he wants to stay in this Heisman race, he has to win this one. Yeah, I mean, good team versus bad team. And then finally, Oregon State hosting the Purdue Spoilermakers. Oregon State minus 3.5 at home. They beat Oregon last week? Question mark? No, they didn't. Oregon smacked them in the mouth. I lied. Oregon smacked them in the mouth last week.
Yes, they did.
You'll have that. Purdue got their teeth kicked in by Notre Dame. What, like 49-0 or something like that? Something crazy. 56-0. Imagine being a guy that bet on Purdue. Couldn't be me. Was probably Ethan though. But give me Oregon State minus the 3.5 on that one. And I think that's all the hidden gems, guys. No?
I think Bossman has one more.
Yeah, you didn't have to call me out like that, but I do have one more, man. Another one that stands out to me pretty heavily at the moment. UNC is taking on JMU. UNC is the home team for this one. That game's only a 10.5-point spread. I understand JMU has been a much better football team the last couple of years, but to see UNC only a 10.5 points above them, that seems like a red flag that is waiting for me to just hammer. So I'm going to do that this weekend.
So they're having a lot of injury issues in their quarterback room, just so you know. That's why.
That's okay.
I don't know if you watched that Minnesota game week 0 or week 1, whichever one it was, but when their backup came in, they literally couldn't move the ball.
Yeah, I did see that. I'm not too worried about that.
All right, sounds good.
It's a little bit of a concern, but I do think UNC is still significantly better than JMU.
I like it, man. That's your hidden gem. You fucking ride that bitch.
I
love it.
I like that. That's fun.
Hey there, sports fans! Are you tired of the same old boring shirts? Well, we've got something exciting for you. Introducing the Tavern Sports Pocket Tee, where style meets passion for the game. Whether you're a diehard fan or just like the environment, Tavern Sports has got you covered, literally. The best part, because you're listening to Show Me the Money, you can use the code $$ to get 15% off today. So what are you waiting for? Head over to tavern-sports.square.site right now and elevate your game day experience. Tavern Sports. Beer, betting, sports.
All right, boys, let's get into NFL. NFL week 3. As we mentioned, week 2, the dogs were barking.
You're not wrong.
Dude.
Ouch.
I got beat up. I'm going to preface this entire segment with, I'm not placing a single one of the bets I give you. I am quite possibly the worst NFL bettor of all time. You'll probably make a fuck ton of money if you fade every one of my picks. Just
disclaimer.
Just a disclaimer. Just don't touch them.
I notice right away we do have a mistake on our rundown, but it is Houston at Minnesota +2. Why is it only 2? I don't understand that.
It's probably 2.5 if you click on it, because they show like that sometimes.
It is okay. Yep, 2.5.
I think it's because fucking Sam Darnold's out there slinging that thing.
He's slinging that thing.
Is really what it comes down to.
Yeah, when did that guy figure out how to throw a football? I'm a little bit.
Kyle Shanahan taught him how to throw a football.
He got out of the two of the worst franchises in NFL history, and it helped a lot. Kind of, I
And
mean,
like,
look at what Justin Fields doing.
I'm just gonna flat out say it. I'm taking Houston minus 2.5. I
Yeah, this is.
like you
I
said,
think. Sorry, go ahead. I'm
no,
sorry.
like you said, I think I missed every single NFL bet last week. So don't have complete confidence in betting on this, but
I think this is an overreaction to what happened um, against the Bears on Sunday night for Houston, and I think
mhm,
people just forget that the Bears have an elite defense.
yeah.
Um, that the Bears are going to end up with a top five defensive unit in the league. I'll say thank you to the books for this overreaction. I'll take Houston minus the 2.5, and if it loses, it loses because if I do bet the NFL, this is one of the lines I will actually take.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think Minnesota. I don't think can ride this hot hand forever. We weren't super confident in what they were going to be doing before the season. I'm not super confident that they're going to be able to continue what they are doing during the season. So I do think it has to end at some point. And on top of that, I think the Texans are probably one of the top three teams in football right now. So I'm going to stick with them. I'm also going to ride Houston at 2.5.
Saints at Philly. Saints, one of the high flyers in the league this year. It's kind of crazy to me. I mean, they're averaging over 40 a game right now. And Alvin Kamara put his nuts on my forehead in fantasy last week. So that was
Mood,
awesome. Love that for me.
mood, very mood. See, I do remember beginning of the season talking NFL schedules. We did think the Saints wouldn't be a slouch. We thought they'd have a good defense and be fine on
Hand up,
offense.
I thought they'd suck. Hand up. I said that
That's
I thought
fair.
they'd suck. You
I
guys were all over them.
Yeah, I know me and Tyler loved their defense. They were really good last year, but this offensive show out was not expected at all. I thought Derek Carr was on the decline. It
Alvin Kamara's back from the dead.
Yeah, I
He's
thought
been
he
worthless the last 2 years. He's just back.
I don't understand. They beat up on this Dallas team last week, which I
I
did
don't think Dallas is
not.
good. I don't think Dallas is good.
Okay, I somewhat agree. I think Dallas is decent, but I did not expect it to be like 44 to what, 10,
I
44.
don't remember.
I do
Oh,
find it absolutely hilarious to throw $240 million down on a football player and then go out and get your nuts kicked in like that. That was pretty entertaining.
By the New Orleans Saints too.
Yes.
I
Oh
just want to
man.
say I've faced Alvin Kamara in fantasy. Both weeks he's like his two highest scoring fantasy weeks ever. So that's
Yeah.
fun.
Does he dude, I'm taking New Orleans. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, baby.
Do I have this right? Is Philly really getting 2.5 at home?
Yeah, they're
No,
dogs.
they're on the road. They're on the road. Sorry. They are on the road.
You got all these back.
That's fine. I don't care.
No,
I'm staying away. I'm on an official stay away. I don't usually do stay aways, so I'm not touching it.
that's fine. I'm gonna drink the Kool-Aid just this one time, just to see what happens.
What do you think, Ethan?
I don't really have a read on this one. We're talking Bears Colts, right?
We're gonna go the Bears Colts next. Right now, we're talking
Oh,
Saints and
we're
Eagles.
still Saints Eagles. I'm sorry. Um, God, the that was a 2.5 point spread the other way before the end of that Saints game, by the way.
Yeah,
Um,
it's moved like 5 points. It's crazy.
yeah, so I would like to feel like Philly comes back and just the Saints cool down, but I'm not confident in that. Like you don't just stop a 40 point offense suddenly. Like it doesn't just happen like that. And especially if they found the groove, then I don't know what the Eagles are going to be able to do to stop that.
And is AJ Brown playing this week?
He practiced today.
Okay.
Or no, sorry, that was T. I AJ might be out. I don't know. AJ might be out.
I haven't heard anything about AJ Brown, so it's hard for me to say anything. But as a guy who also got his nuts kicked in football last week, I at least in NFL football, I'm probably not betting anything NFL wise this week.
Yeah, it's. I mean, both college and NFL have been kind of just
Bad slates this
bad
week. Really
taste.
bad
Bad
slate.
taste.
Bears at Colts. Colts -1.5 at home.
What
The
is
rest of the
this?
guys here, so I don't have to defend the Bears. So
That's fair. See, I've been kind of riding this Colts team. I think they could be good this year. It's just all their games. It's just been all their yards come from just big, like game breaking plays, like just plays that you just don't expect to happen. That's all their offense has been this year.
So I
that's
know
just what A-Rich does. He just chucks it.
I know Josh said that none of the other guys are here, but I'm still not necessarily on Caleb Williams.
Here's my thing. Fuck you. I'm gonna defend my guy. He
he has time.
He made rookie mistakes. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Week one, he didn't make rookie mistakes, so it sucked to see him make rookie mistakes. Okay, because there was the throw. I think it was in the second quarter where he was scrambling, and then he threw it all the way across his body from the right hash to the left boundary, and it got picked. Horrible throw. It's a throw you can never make in the NFL, but that is the easiest coachable moment on the planet. That's as simple as handing him the fucking iPad the second he steps off the field and saying, "What do you think you did wrong here?" And he'll figure it out. Kale's a smart guy. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
He'll figure it out. I don't like, and then the miscommunication on routes, the chemistry not really being there. You don't love seeing that after a full off-season program and you're into week 2, but they'll get that figured out too. They'll figure out all the ins and outs. Cole Kmet finally got some more burn in the offense this week, up where he should have been week 1. So that helped a lot having Cole out there. The biggest issue is we can't run the fucking football. And Shane Waldron's offense is awful. Khalil Herbert is clearly the best running back we have on the team, but since they paid DeAndre Swift, they won't put him out there. Khalil Herbert was able to move the ball. DeAndre Swift couldn't. DeAndre Swift goes down the second you touch him. You could put a pointer finger on him, and he goes down. He's so bad at running and staying up off the ground. It's awful.
Yeah, that was one of my other lost bets this weekend. That one really hurt. He didn't even reach 12.5 rushing yards. So
he's awful. Yeah. He's a really good receiving back. I mean, he had that one where he tipped it to himself and caught it. It was really cool. It was really cool. And he was a little shifty. But the second he got shifty, someone dived at his ankles, and he has no high step. He never did a ladder drill a day in his fucking life, and he got tripped up by somebody 2 yards behind him. Like, what the fuck are you doing? But Cole looked better. He started like 5 for 5 or 7 for 8 or something like that. 70. He started 5 for 5 for 56 yards in the first drive. I mean, what more could you want from a kid? He looked good. I think he's going to continue to improve. It might not all be there this week. It might not all be there next week. All that matters is by the time we get to the bye week and into divisional play, it's going to be there. And we have 3 pretty easy games. We're 1-1 right now. If at the end of these 3 games we're 3-2, the season's so alive it's not funny. And then Caleb has 5 NFL games under his boots, and he'll have it put together by then. I truly believe that. This week's not going to be perfect still. It's still not going to look amazing. I do think he breaks that 200-yard barrier this week. It really comes down to the offensive line. The offensive line was so bad.
Yeah,
so bad.
I think the Colts have the worst pass rush in the NFL currently.
They're the worst rush defense.
Or rush defense, yes.
And DeForest Buckner is not playing this week, which means their only pass rusher is out, so the line should be okay.
And hopefully. Didn't they draft the DN that was a dog or something like that? Latu? Has he played?
I don't know what you're talking about. So
he was like a top.
Oh, Liatu.
10 pick.
Yeah.
Liatu. I don't know how to say his name, dude.
Liatu.
I haven't heard anything about him at all this year.
Don't know.
But no, I think this is going to be a good. Bears are going to establish the run here, and I think I'm going to take the Bears plus 1.5. But I also kind of like them money line.
If you're going to take the 1.5, just take the extra like 25 cents per dollar and take the money line. Honestly.
Yeah, Either way you take it, I like it.
We'll see.
I lean
I
Bears, but I'm on a stay away.
I want Caleb Williams to prove me wrong. Until then, give me the Colts.
I hope you're wrong.
I hope
I hope I'm wrong too. I would love to be wrong on that one.
Let's go to the next one. Not one that's really worth a lot of talking. I will say this is an emotional pick. I am 100% officially on a stay away. Carolina at Vegas. Vegas minus 5.5 point dogs at home or favorites at home. I'm on Carolina plus 5.5 because Andy Dalton's in. Fucking Red Rocket, baby. Fucking Bryce Young's midget finally isn't fucking playing football. He never should have. He shouldn't have been the first pick. He shouldn't have been drafted in the first fucking round. The dude's ass. I hope all the Alabama fans that are listening to the show are fucking pissed. Your guys' shit.
Like
It was always
if you're gonna be that short, you got to be a game changer. Like
Kyler.
you got to be like Kyler. Like I don't know. What is this Carolina team? Like, it's ugly. And you said you taking Carolina with Andy Dalton at the helm?
Yeah, dude, it's 100% just with my heart. My money won't touch it, but I will watch the game. I will watch the game, and I'll be rooting for the Red Rocket, man. It'll be in my quad view with the Bears, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
We can move on quick. I don't care. I just wanted to say that I love Andy Dalton.
I don't know. Baltimore lost to this Vegas team last week.
Well, you want to introduce the whole game, or just half this team, or half the game? Are you moving on to the next one, or are you still in Vegas?
I'm still on Vegas.
Okay. Sorry,
Vegas.
I thought you were moving on.
No. Oh, are they next on? They're next on, I
Yeah.
think. No, Baltimore lost to this Raiders team last week. Give me the Raiders minus 5.5. I don't like it. Probably. Yeah, I'm just.
How dare you fight my princess, Andy Dalton? Fuck you.
Yeah, I don't like either team, dude. They suck. Skip.
Skip.
Unless you have
100%
some-
skip.
Skip.
Baltimore at Dallas. Dallas getting a 1.5 at home. Both these teams really bad losses last week. You just mentioned Baltimore losing to Vegas and Dallas getting shit pounded by the Saints.
Yeah. What is NFL anymore? I hate this.
I'm not touching this one. I don't know, dude. I'm not good at
don't-
betting NFL. I'm not.
I don't blame you.
I don't get it.
Give me Baltimore.
Yeah, gun to my head, Baltimore.
Yeah,
Money line. I'm not fucking with the point.
Yup.
I'm not doing it.
I would also take Baltimore.
Because Justin Tucker's, fun fact, he's the only kicker to miss a kick outside of 50 yards this year, and he's missed fucking 2 of them. I'm serious. Look up the stats. Everyone's nailing shit from outside of 50 except for Justin Tucker, one of the best kickers
Jake
to
Moody,
ever do it.
a dog.
Yeah, Tucker Carlson or Daniel Carlson for Vegas.
Yeah.
He had 3 of them week 1 too. Like
That guy's on my
shit
fantasy
hang
team. God tier fantasy pick.
dude, Moody had got me like 26 points week 1. It was great.
He was on my bench.
What an idiot.
You have a kicker on your bench, or you?
I have
Dumb.
2 kickers.
What is wrong with you?
Hey man, it means he doesn't have to stream them once. I do it
Dude,
sometimes.
I have the Bills kicker. He's
Yeah.
pretty damn good.
In
it's
Dynasty, dude, like it's almost worth the slot
It-
that way. Because if you
it
have
really
if you have a really good kicker, like you don't want to drop him on a bye week and have
That's what
someone
I'm
pick him
saying.
up. Because
Yeah,
I'll do
That's
it.
I've had him.
Drop
I
a great
drafted him
kicker on
last
a
year.
bye week, dude. I'll take him. I don't care.
I literally in our rookie draft last year, I drafted Jake Moody. I was
Did you
like,
really?
I did. I was like, I want this guy. He's a dog.
Dog.
But let's move to the next game, I think.
Yeah, Detroit at Arizona. Clark, these are your Cardinals, man. Give it to us.
Dude, I gave you the pick last week to take the Rams. I told you to bet against the Cardinals.
How'd that work
And
out?
I was
don't
wrong.
know.
I
have no
was
clue.
wrong. The Cardinals dropped 41 points. Let's see. I think Marvin Harrison had 140 yards, 2 tuds, probably 5-6 catches.
Yeah, he looked fucking good.
He looked really good.
He looked really fucking good.
And if I was a Detroit fan, I would be kind of scared. I would genuinely be kind of scared here.
Monty looks good for Detroit.
I love David Montgomery, dude.
He never should have left Chicago.
I loved him when he was a Cyclone, man. He's been a fan of him since he was a youngin. But give me Arizona +3, and that's just because I'm a fan.
That's fair. I'm on Detroit -3 here. I will give this official pick. Clark, I'm gonna lock up this win for your Cardinals.
Thank you.
Detroit's NFC Championship favorite for a reason. Arizona wasn't expected to be good for a reason. Give me Detroit -3. Worth noting, this is a true 3 right now. I'm sure it'll move at least a half a point to either 3.5 or 2.5, but right now it's 3. I'll take it to 2.5 just so I don't have to mess with the push. And if I end up having to buy a point because it goes to 3.5, that's fine.
Yeah, I honestly hope this game is. I think it's just gonna be fun to watch. Like,
yeah, it should be a good one. I think it's in the afternoon window, so it should be a good one.
It's like 3:30, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Final game of the week.
Last game of the week.
Kansas City at Atlanta. The Falcons are 3-point dogs at home. Atlanta shocking Philly on Monday Night Football. Hell of the last 2 minutes. I didn't watch a single snap until the 2-minute warning. I watched a lot. Yeah. I was doing other shit.
Pacheco's out. That's big.
That Falcons defense is pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
Kirko Chains let his shit hang last week.
Let's see. They're sitting at 17th for defensive yards per game, points per game. They're holding teams to 19.5.
Kansas City was expected, and I'm not sure if they did, but expected to sign Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, that happened. He's not active. He's not active this week though. You'll get Carson Steele and Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the backfield this week.
I am excited to see Carson Steele play.
Yeah, he's on my taxi squad. He ain't getting no run out here.
I saw him do a couple of runs in that game, and I wasn't super impressed with him. I gotta say, I was pretty disappointed by what such a large man was doing.
Yeah, that's a fullback, baby.
Yeah, really. He just didn't impress me, I think, like some of the other running backs nowadays do, and maybe that's my fault for thinking he's going to be could be like a Breece Hall type of guy.
Maybe your standards are too high.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. My standards are too high for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Who thought they did not cover against the Bengals last week? They won because of a questionable call. I mean, I kind of called that. You know, when Mahomes is favored by more than 3, he doesn't cover.
Yeah, that was the one game that I live bet on and hit for the NFL. Otherwise, I didn't hit on a single NFL bet. So,
I think I'm still going to take Kansas City here.
Yeah, I'm on Kansas City. I'm going to buy it to 2.5.
That's fair. It's just because I know what they can be. In Atlanta, we're still seeing what they are this year.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I'm just solely basing it off of I know Kansas City is a better team.
This episode of Show Me the Money is brought to you by Tavern Sports, your place to get fun sports content, sportsbook lines and parlays, and of course food reviews with Big E's Ballpark Bites. You can follow Tavern Sports on Instagram at Tavern Sports 2023, TikTok at Tavern.Sports, and Twitter at Tavern Sports 23.
All right. Back with the locks. We'll start, as always, with Tyler's teaser. Tyler's out this week, but he got us a teaser anyway. I'm pretty sure it missed last week because he was bitching out in the chat. I don't remember exactly, but we're going to do +7.5 this week. Louisville down from 10.5 to -3. Cal from +2.5 to +10. Oklahoma from +7.5 to +15. I love that. I love that line. Nebraska from -7.5 down to the money line. Love that. That one kind of, I'd say I love it. It kind of scares me because I think that game could really go either way. And then we got Syracuse hosting Stanford, down from 8.5 all the way down to a 1-point spread there. 5-leg teaser plus 350, so 10 will win you $35. Kind of seems like Tyler's getting a little scared here. Honestly, not very many legs in this one. I mean, it's not a great slate. You know, we said that, but
I guess we haven't really gotten to see. We're getting to the thick of it now. We're getting to
next week's gonna be great.
Conference matchups. We're getting to the thick of it. I think that's when Tyler starts to find his groove. He started 0-4 in his locks this year. He's gonna find it.
He's 0-3. Chill out. Don't curse the kid yet.
I thought he was 0-4.
Or are we 4 weeks in? I thought we were only 3 weeks in.
He's 0-4.
Oh, he is 0-4. He's dog shit.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Tyler's pick, he's on BC minus 6.5, so you should probably take Michigan State plus 6.5. Like, seems pretty like, free money, easy money. Cole, who was the leader in the clubhouse, he has slid the last 2 weeks. He's on the Bears money line.
I like this pick.
I like it too. John is on the 49ers minus the 6.5. Parker.
He has my bet.
Parker's on the Cow money line.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah, that was your hidden
that was
gem,
my
right?
hidden gem. Yeah.
Hell yeah. What do you got? What do you like?
I'm gonna go with my hidden gem as well. Give me Clemson at minus 19. I really do think that game is gonna be a blowout, and I'm against NC State.
I can respect
Love
that.
it. I guess I'll go next.
Sure.
Talked about it a little bit earlier. I'm gonna take the Cornhuskers minus 6.5 at minus 148. Just nudged in the parameters
Just in there. I bet you if we check it right now, it's no good, but we'll give it to you. Just messing with you. I'll take USC minus the 5.5. I'm almost curious if I could. There's no way I could buy the 3 points, so it's not really even worth it. So to get it to 2.5. So yeah, we'll just take the USC minus 5.5 against Michigan in the big house. Kind of scary, but Michigan looks pretty bad.
Yeah, they only have a good defense, terrible offense. So,
well, that's it, boys. Kind of a crappy slate, kind of a, lackluster pod. Not a lot of the guys here. NFL's weird, so not super excited there. But they're picks nonetheless. We gave them to you. Don't place them or fade us. We don't really care because we win. And if you fade, then you lose. And when you ride with us, just remember to show me the money.
Show me the money!